Welcome to the KDFL Thanksgiving Edition Fantasy Football Podcast. It's me, Brett Steele, and I am joined, as always, by Mr. Jonathan Detroit Haynes. How's it going, man?
Yo, yo, yo. I'm here. You didn't think I'd be here, but I am.
What courage. And also joining us, Mr. Phil Ruxey. Phil, how's it going?
What's up, guys? It's going pretty good. Looks at Pawnee.
Nice. I like it.
All right. So, NFL Week 11 in the books. We started off with a rematch of one of the better Sunday night games of the year, the Cardinals and the Seahawks. This time the Seahawks getting it done. And yeah, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this game?
I thought that Wilson got Lockett more involved in this game. I don't know if that was because of Peterson being on Metcalf or whatever, but it was. I feel like sometimes Wilson tends to just concentrate on one guy, and that sometimes causes trouble for him. But I did like to see him get more involved. I thought Murray, he got banged up, and I think that played a role in that game too.
Shoulder, yeah.
So it was an entertaining game.
It was. Murray starting to put in that fantasy floor where you have like Lamar had last year.
It's hurting him right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phil, what'd you think?
Yeah, kind of the same thing like Wilson likes to focus on one guy every now and then. But they are definitely missing Carson. But I think the Cardinals they're about where I thought they would be. I mean, yeah. I think they can beat the Seahawks. They just I don't know. You were saying Murray got hurt. I think that probably had a lot to do with it. Because he only went 29 of 42. I mean, he threw 42 times and only completed 29 of them. Meanwhile, Russell Wilson with 23 of 28. So he didn't throw as much, but he was a lot more efficient. But I don't know. I think the Cardinals are pretty close to the Seahawks.
The Seahawks just look like a team to me. I might eat my words here, but when you have that bad defense, and it played better. Well, it did play better this last week, so I might have to watch it a little bit. But you're never going to be able to put teams away, so that makes me nervous. And it's been historically bad. It was better this last week, but again, we talked about it. Murray definitely banged up the shoulder, and I saw this, and it is true. I think it might have been part of my take that when Murray's hurt, he's just a short guy. Like you don't notice how short he is until he's not playing well. It's like that's just a short guy now. You're not nothing to worry about anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know how much we want to go into this. Falcons, Saints, Taysom Hill. I don't know.
What'd you think of him? I know you've been a big critic of him. What'd you think as him as quarterbacking in that game?
I think he looked solid. He had his moments where it wasn't good, especially at the beginning. He settled in. I think that Michael Thomas, with as much as I make fun of it, the little short routes and how efficient he is with those, I think that is going to be a good pairing. I think it's going to help him a lot because he's not looking. He tried to throw a couple balls deep, and they were terrible. Emmanuel Sanders came back for 2 of them.
Here's a question: are they better with him as the quarterback than Breeze? Are they a better team?
I think they're more dynamic. I think he can do more. I don't trust him as a thrower hardly. Like it wasn't crazy impressive. The Falcons' pass defense is trash. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll get him a little bit of a bigger test. Let me see that they have next. Don't go to the Saints page very often. So they're looking at Denver next. I don't know. He's going to have Denver, then Atlanta. Philly might give him a good test defensively if Breeze is still out. I'm assuming he will be with how many he keeps adding to the number of ribs he broke. So I don't know. Kamara finally gets in, man. I was glad I shared that stat in the Discord. Kamara has never scored a touchdown against the Atlanta Falcons. I shared it and said, I think this will end this week, so I want to share it now. And yeah, sure enough. But I think long-term, his fantasy value, you need to watch that because he could be in trouble because there's no dump-offs now. And they talked about this a lot. Normally the dump-off is a lot of Kamara's points are Breeze is in trouble Breeze is not going to run, so he's going to dump it off. When you have guys, when you have these rushing quarterbacks like a Josh Allen, like a Lamar Jackson, Kyler even, Deshaun Watson, all these mobile quarterbacks, their "oh my God, I'm in trouble" button, which is for a non-mobile quarterback, is the dump off, is I'm going to run.
Right.
Yeah. The first thought is to take off.
Right. So that hurts Kamara's ability to break off these long passes and get 10 receptions. He didn't have a catch this game for the first time in his career.
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that could be a problem because that's a lot of his game is catching out of the backfield.
Weekly Falcon silver lining. I think that this will go a long way to us not doing the emotional hire of Raheem Morris. So I think that's wide open. Although the GM candidates I've seen, not happy about it so far. Come on, Lewis Riddick. Okay. Browns win an ugly game. There's nothing but bad weather in Cleveland. Man, Carson Wentz hate bandwagon. I had plenty of room on it. It's starting to fill up.
Yeah, I'm on that band. I'm on there with you because he's garbage. Gosh, he just fell off.
He's looking lost. I know he doesn't have the weapons, but he is looking lost.
I mean, he has some weapons, though. I mean, that's what doesn't make sense. Like, there's some good players on that team.
I'm trying to think of a quarterback that doesn't have weapons, that doesn't have like big name weapons, that isn't lighting the world on fire. Well, Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
He doesn't have, what I mean? He doesn't have like a Thielen or, like a Metcalf. I mean, Higgins is playing well and Boyd is playing well, but he doesn't have Teddy B, another one, when he was in there. There's a few that don't have absolute stud wide receivers and are still getting it done. So I don't like that excuse either, Detroit. And I see it happening a lot. So, but Cleveland Browns, 7-3.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
A little surprising. I mean, I thought they'd be all okay. I was thinking more like a 500 team.
Double check me on this. I think this could be a Brett made up stat, but I think the Browns have officially beaten every team in the 21st century now. It took this long.
Yeah, I have no idea how long that would take to figure out.
I think every other team has done it. You got 20 years to beat every team once. Okay. The Washington football team beats the Bengals. Oh, man. We got Joey B.
That's sad. It turns out that knee injury is a lot worse than what they thought, too. So
all the CLs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sucks.
He's probably going to miss next season, too, I would say.
He'll definitely miss some of it.
Yeah, he'll miss some at least. And you can be real careful. I mean, this is your franchise guy, and he was showing promise. Now, the Erie thing is the same field as Alex Smith. It's a FedEx Field. I mean, it's the same thing. Not that the field played a role in it. It's just kind of like,
No, it was a bad hit.
Can you do that again?
I was going to say heebie-jeebies. The Lions. Go ahead, Detroit. Let's let you have the stage here.
Yeah, go ahead, Detroit.
Well, I mean, we're talking about the Detroit Lions. One of the best franchises in the history. Oh, no, I'm sorry. One of the worst franchises in all of sports. We go out and put up a goose egg. We scored no points. First time in 11 years. To a quarterback that was quarterbacking the Houston Roughnecks in the XFL. They even picked him off twice in the end zone in that game and
that's wild.
Yeah. They just couldn't run the ball, couldn't throw the ball. Stafford's got that hurt thumb. I don't think it makes a difference. I think it's just time to blow the whole thing up. I've been preaching it for years, but I think everybody's starting to come around on that. Stafford just needs to go. I don't think Stafford's a bad quarterback. Don't get me wrong. I just think the franchise is cursed. They're terrible.
Yeah, it's time to rebuild completely.
Yeah, I mean, they got to get rid of Patricia, get rid of the general manager, Quinn. He has not been doing a very good job either.
What's his claim to fame draft pick?
Who,
Quinn there for Stafford? I don't know.
Oh, Stafford's claim to fame?
No, Quinn's.
Oh, he came from New England.
Was he there? He wasn't there with Stafford, though. Did he draft Stafford?
No.
He's only been there. Surely.
He's been there 1 year longer than Patricia has.
Okay, I didn't think he'd been there that long because that'd be a long time with the Lions, what they've done. So, I'm trying to think. Galladay?
Yeah. Galladay, that would be it.
Maybe, I mean, we'll see what Swift does, but yeah. The Steelers go to 10. Now, this game was kind of nothing happened. It looks like that's like a true three-headed monster in Pittsburgh, wide receiver wise.
Oh, I know. I think I've been watching a lot of their games because I have Claypool and Juju on my team.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ben's favorite target is Deontay Johnson.
I think so too.
He really, I mean, I think it's to the point he forces it too much to him.
And
he did that a lot in this last game.
Yeah.
It seems like when he's in trouble a lot, that's what he's looking for. Too.
Yeah.
If he could stay healthy, he could be.
Are the Steelers like? I mean, they're undefeated, but do we all think they're just?
You don't think they're legit, do you?
It's not that I don't think they're legit. I just don't think of them as. I don't think they're better than Kansas City.
Yeah, I mean, Kansas City's only lost one game, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. There's something about this team.
Big Ben makes me nervous.
Yeah.
From a health standpoint, their running backs are not good. They're not playing well.
Like I would not be surprised. I'm not saying this would happen because I don't think it will, but I can see the Steelers losing their first game in the playoffs. Just depends on who they go up against.
The thing is, their defense is amazing at stopping the run.
Yes,
that's kind of what you need.
I agree, but they've played so many close games too.
They have.
Yeah.
Now this is interesting because this will tie into Sunday night as well, or Monday night as well. Titans and Ravens. I love the NFL logo stuff. I like the pride of the team. I like getting mad about it. I like the TO with the star, all that stuff. Was it Michigan State that did the cleats all on the was it the M, or was it another school? What college team did this? Michigan State did was it Michigan that did it to Michigan State?
It was Michigan and Michigan State.
Yeah, cleated up the Spartan.
Don't forget, didn't Baker do it at Ohio State? He planted the flag.
He tried to plant the flag in the turf field.
Yeah.
I love it, though. I love that stuff. I like the passion behind it. I like Harbaugh not getting in their face. Harbaugh, he wants some smoke sometimes. Like, he will get up in somebody's face.
Yeah.
I like not shaking hands after. Just like I'm not mad. I like to give you crap over with Brady, but I'm not mad at him not shaking Goff's hand. I played bad. I played terrible. I'm going to be a little angry.
That's the one thing that drives me nuts with Brady, though.
He can be a baby sometimes?
Yeah, he can.
The showing up of the linemen and that it gets him a little bit of a bad rep, but I mean, I could see it.
But I've never heard one of his former players or current players ever say anything bad about him. They say how great of a teammate he is. But that's just the one thing. I guess, I mean, maybe that's just part of being Brady. That makes him good.
I know.
He takes it so much to heart.
Right. It's like Belichick being mean and stuff like that, or not being approachable. It's like you don't get the good without the bad. You know what I mean? Right. This is what got me here. So this is what I'm doing. So, yeah, interesting to see the Titans with a huge bounce back win. They go to 7-3.
Derrick Henry with his second walk-off touchdown this season.
That's gonna be such a good feeling, the walk-off TD. He goes for 133 and 1. I do believe in the Titans. They're very bipolar, but I do believe in them, and I think that they could do something in the playoffs again. I think this team is more built for the playoffs than most others, and it sounds stupid to say because it literally was last year that they were in the AFC Championship.
I don't like their defense though. I don't think their defense is that good. But you're right. They got the offense. They can control the clock with Henry.
Yeah.
DJ Brown's a stud.
Does Vrabel get the Belichick disciple moniker?
Probably.
He played for him. He didn't.
Yeah.
I think.
You know what I mean?
I think he does. I mean.
Yeah, I think he does too.
This game I didn't watch, but go ahead, Phil.
I was going to say, I think what's good for the Titans, though, is they don't have to rely on Tannehill. You know, it could just be Derrick Henry's game and then Tannehill if they need to.
I think what's good, and now piggyback on what you're saying here, they don't have to rely on Henry, and they don't have to rely on Tannehill.
Yeah, okay. That's what
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They can move.
What's working.
They can move with what the game is presenting them.
Yeah.
And there's not that many teams. If you could shut down, like say you shut down Pittsburgh, we were just talking about. Say you shut down Pittsburgh's passing attack. I don't know. I don't know what happens next. Yeah, that's a good point, Phil. The Patriots and the Texans. I didn't see a lot of this game. I know Watson had a monster game, but this is like kind of the game that the red zone didn't go a lot to. Bill Belichick. If we play back last week's show, one of us said that Bill Belichick has a tough time with mobile QBs.
Oh, gee, I wonder who said that.
Yeah, I wonder who that was, Brett. Do you know who that was? I can't remember.
Very intelligent man.
Well, let's not get too out of hand here.
He scores for his first rushing TD under Romeo Cornell. Texans moved to 3-7. I mean, they're not going to do anything in the postseason. I don't believe they can still get there because I think that the AFC has more distinguished line, I believe, than the NFC does as far as records to get in the playoffs. Okay, and the next game that's very interesting to me. Do you guys have anything on Texans Patriots?
No,
not much.
It was just like
yeah, it's just one of those games. Who cares?
Dolphins Broncos would be a game that I wouldn't pay any attention to except for one very big deal. We benched Tua in this game. What are your thoughts?
He looked terrible in that game. I understood what they were doing, but I think that sometimes you got to let the rookie quarterback get that experience.
That's what I was thinking. I mean, you put him in over Fitzpatrick, who was doing well anyways, so why not just leave him in if you're going to start him already?
I think the coach was thinking about the playoffs, but then again, they pulled Fitzpatrick anyways.
Exactly.
That's what I have written down. Like they're trying to do this balancing act of they're Phil's dynasty team in real life. They're trying to do this balancing act of trying to contend and get in the playoffs and make a splash, and trying to build for the future.
That's funny.
Because you want him to get this experience. I mean, so.
I'm with you.
It was bad though.
Yeah, it was bad. They didn't have that much offense, I don't think, in that game.
No. Let's see here. All right, now that's the only reason. The Chargers and the Jets. Herbert has to have a pretty large walk on Rookie of the Year, right? At this point,
absolutely.
Especially with Burrow.
Yeah.
Especially with Burrow going down. He continues to impress. The Chargers do their best to try to give this game back to the Jets. Doesn't end up going their way. I think. Let's see. I think Herbert has 2 touchdown games at least, or he's had two touchdowns in every game he's played. I think he has a handful, 2 or 3 of 3 touchdown games. So he's kind of lighting it up right now. So
good.
All right. Let's see. A couple of more afternoon games. The Packers and the Colts.
What a game.
It was a game.
Yeah, I thought the Packers had that one locked up, but
okay.
Yeah, Phil.
Go ahead.
Okay. Aaron Jones is not getting the ball enough at all. He had 4 carries in the second half. Keep in mind, they were up 28-14 at halftime. Yeah. And he gets 4 carries in the second half.
Well, they also went 3 and out on 3 straight possessions in the second half.
And he didn't even touch the ball in any of those possessions, I don't think.
Yeah, it was awful. I watched it.
Yeah, I don't know. They only had 18 total carries actually for the whole game, and Rodgers had 3 of those.
Colts are 7-3.
7-3, and they tried to do their best to give this game away as well. Holding penalty after holding penalty.
Rivers as your quarterback. Whew.
On my bench, my fantasy bench.
The holding penalties were certainly interesting. And then Rodrigo, baby, Squints.
Whatever.
By far my favorite kicker. Not named Younghoku in the league.
The guy that wants to get rid of field goals has a favorite field goal kicker.
I do, and field goals are ridiculous still. They're playing way too big a role. That just whatever.
It's worked since it worked.
Okay, we're going to do this again.
No, we're doing it again. They should just get rid of extra points.
We're going to do the litmus test. that if field goals weren't a thing and I tried to put them in, you guys would think I was ridiculous. If I said we're going to put these posts on two ends of the field, and instead of throwing and running like we've been doing for 60 minutes, we're going to try to kick the ball through this, and you get points. That sounds like some Bozo the Clown.
Yeah, it sounds like a gimmick, honestly.
It sounds like a gimmick.
I apologize to our loyal listeners.
To our listener.
Eric.
Cowboys, Vikings to wrap up the evening slate there. Cowboys get a much needed win to go to 3-7, and somehow this game on Thursday is for the lead in the NFC East.
It is insane. It's insane.
I don't even want to talk about that division.
Yeah. Phelan is a monster, and I know he tested positive for COVID, but I think his last test was negative, so he has a chance of playing this upcoming Sunday. That catch was insane in the end zone, and CeeDee Lamb's catch was insane as well.
Yes, that was a really
play. All right, Chiefs, Raiders. Chiefs eke out a win versus the Raiders with a last-second drive that everybody thought was going to happen. Is there such a thing as a moral victory?
Raiders play the Chiefs better than anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I was the first one to get on that Derek Carr bandwagon. That guy's looking really good. So I told you guys.
I mean, the Raiders could be dangerous in the playoffs. I mean, they really could.
Carr
If they had a little bit better defense, I would feel better about their chances.
Carr has the same stat line every game. A lot of the games where he's playing well, it looks the same. It looks like he's dominating. Then you get to the end of the game, and he's like 27 for 31 for 260.
Yeah, but what I've noticed is he's making really smart decisions.
It's like game manager in hyperdrive. I don't know what to say. Like he's not just managing the game; he's making things happen. But it's the stat. Okay.
I don't think he's forcing anything. Basically,
right. He looked better than what his stats. Like he looks a lot better. His stats are not telling the story of how well he's playing, and it's kind of the opposite of what you typically see. Now let's end it with why we thought Detroit may not make it tonight. We have the Rams and the Bucks.
Whatever.
The Rams beat Tom Brady in primetime 27-24. Jared Goff 376 and 3. What do you think?
I'm on the I'm starting to see cracks in the greatest of all time. He's not looking good. I mean, I don't think he's terrible. Don't get me wrong. He's better than a lot of quarterbacks in this league. But it's not the same Brady. He's missing really bad on these long deep throws.
The deep ball
I know.
The first thing
I know that one that Antonio Brown should have had, but I mean that's just that one. A lot of these are just bad. There were some really bad interviews.
He's forcing a lot of stuff. It seems like he's trying to make too much happen.
I agree.
I also think, and I've said this for a while, I don't get the hype behind Bruce Arians. I think he's like one of the most lovable coaches, and people are so excited to have him. I don't get it. We give Adam Gase crap for saying that Tom Brady, or I'm sorry, Adam Gase had Peyton Manning. Easy to mix those two up.
I think the problem with Tampa though is in these games that are losing, they're not running the ball very good, and that's what you got to do.
They're not.
They had 18 carries for 42 yards. That's not going to get it done.
You just took over my point though.
Okay.
Look, we give Adam Gase crap for hitching his star to Tom Brady, or dag on it, to Peyton Manning, and we give Bruce Arians the QB whisperer. His quarterbacks, his claim to fame when he was doing all this great coaching, are what are they? Big Ben, Andrew Luck, and Carson Palmer, right?
Yeah.
I like how Bill was cut off for the first time in his life, and he was all flustered and everything.
I know.
I've called Brady, man.
How dare you cut me off?
I've switched him up twice now because I was making a good point. Now, I do have one serious question. Would you rather have primetime Tom Brady or primetime Kirk Cousins?
Primetime Brady? What a stupid question.
That's not even it. Yeah, that's a dumb question.
One of them's won recently in primetime, and the other looks awful.
How many Super Bowls has Kirk Cousins won, though? How many has he been
to? That was a joke.
0.
It was a joke.
He leads it off with, this is a serious question.
Yeah. That's the first element of a joke, Herb. You start off. right, now we're doing something different. Anything else for NFL reactions?
Nope.
All right, we're doing something a little bit different this week. We're going to do whatever Detroit calls his power ranking segment.
Big Daddy's rankings.
But while we're doing these rankings, I want the audience at home to be thinking about this question, see if you can answer it. Who is the only QB to start 4-0 in the last 4 decades? Do you guys know it off the top of your head? If you do, I got to go to the next one.
There's only been one to start 4-0.
You don't know. If you don't know, just say I don't know.
I do. I think I do. Can I say it? Say it?
Yeah.
Big Ben.
Shoot. Okay, next question. I have one more, so don't guess this one. Pittsburgh is 10-0 for the first time in their history. They're the 9th team to do it. Only one team has won the Super Bowl of the other 8 teams. Do you know who it is? All right. And I have written down here below that, Primetime Cousins or Primetime Brady. Hilarious. Go ahead, Detroit. What's your ranking segment?
All right. This is, once again, for the people at home that have voted and they love the Big Daddy rankings.
People have spoken.
Some say I should call it Big Daddy D, the Big D's, but we'll just settle with Big Daddies because I like saying Big Daddy. All right. So I want to put this is more about the guy I was talking about earlier that I've been a big fan of all season long, and that's Derek Carr. Right now, what would you guys – I need you to give me your top 5 MVP candidates. And would Derek Carr make it in the top 5? Because I think he's playing MVP caliber this year. I'm looking at the odds, though, and Vegas has him tied for, I believe, his 10th.
Yeah, as I said, I don't think he'd be in the top 5 for that.
But no, according to me, I'm putting him at number 5. I think what the Raiders are doing, no one expected the Raiders to be this good. So I think he's done really well with them. Number 4 for me, I have Kyler Murray. I think he's got that franchise heading in the right direction. He's been playing very well.
Shoot, I'm an idiot. Okay.
Well, this is a family show. Watch your language. Number 3, he hasn't had the greatest past month, and that's Russell Wilson. I like him. The guy's probably the best deep thrower in the game. Number 2, I said thrower. Number 2.
We're deep in thought.
Number 2, I have to go with that smug, Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. He's just consistent. And, of course, number 1, I don't think it's a question. It's got to be Patrick Mahomes.
All right. You want me to go, Phil? I got mine if you don't have yours.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Number 5, I have Josh Allen. The Bills' offense was off to a rocking start. They definitely hit the skids here lately, but I think that he has a schedule that can help him out towards the end. Number 4, I have Russell Wilson. He's also gotten a little bit rougher lately. So number 3, I have Aaron Rodgers just because of the great year he's had. Number 2, I have Pat Mahomes at number 2.
What?
Because I guess you could do it, but you're going to get like the LeBron thing where you can't keep giving it to him. So
he's got it once.
He's got it once, but going to get every other year. Number 1, I do have Kyler Murray at number 1 right now.
You're insane.
He has not had a letdown game yet at all. His letdown game, I know fantasy and reality are 2 different things, but his letdown game, he was the quarterback at 11. He's never finished outside the top QB1.
He's like ranked 14th in quarterback rating.
Oh, we're going to use that? We're going to use QB1 when it fits it and when it doesn't?
Holy cow, settle down. He's number 9 in completion percentage.
Yeah. He's number 1 in my heart.
All right, whatever. Go ahead, Phil.
Okay. I have Kyler at number 5. I think he's got to be in the conversation at least. I mean, he's having a great season. And the Cardinals are having a good season as well. I think they're right there with the Seahawks, like I said earlier. Number 4, Josh Allen. He just puts up numbers week in and week out, it seems like, whether it's passing or running. Number 3, I have Aaron Rodgers. You might be surprised.
Wow.
Yeah, of course he's having a great season, but there are a couple guys that are having a better season right now. So number 2, I have Russell Wilson. I know he's had some bad games recently, but I think he's put up some numbers before that to still keep him near the top, regardless of how he's done in the last few weeks. And then number 1, Patrick Mahomes. I mean, not really much to say about that.
Yeah.
He's the best quarterback.
I'm an idiot was because I didn't have Pat Mahomes written down.
You didn't what?
I didn't have him written down at first. Dude, when we do these, it's like go, 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 and you forget things. That's the point of it. So I didn't have him first.
Do people see what we have to deal with? Anyways, bring this back. I want to bring this back to Derek Carr. What I like about him, he's not turning the ball over. He's got 19 touchdown passes, and he's only got 3 interceptions.
Yeah, so let's see what he does when he faces that vaunted Atlanta Falcons defense.
Yeah, he'll probably have 6 touchdowns and no interceptions.
Okay, you guys have a guess on our question here. This is hard because you guys aren't going to remember what all teams.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, can you repeat it?
Pittsburgh 10-0 for the first time in their franchise history. They are the 9th team to do so. Of the previous 8 teams, only one has won the Super Bowl. It's happened in the last 20 years, we'll say, 15 years. But you're not going to remember what teams went 10-0, are you?
Dude, I'm thinking. Can I think?
Yeah, no, it's a tough thing.
But what about? Didn't the Dolphins go undefeated though?
Has that happened in the last 20 years? This team? No, this is like I don't know.
You said 4 decades, but still.
Oh yeah, past 4 decades. Yeah, it's the past 4 decades. Sorry.
I think
no, it didn't. That was the. I don't know. The Dolphins aren't in this. Okay, that's all I can say.
I'm gonna go with the Denver Broncos.
No. That's a good guess. Phil, you got one?
He's looking at the computer. He's Googling.
I do have Google up, but that was for your top 5 questions. I had to look up stats. So my hands are right here. So I'm gonna go with. Wasn't the Buccaneers? Was it in 2002?
No. It was sad to say the 2008 New Orleans Saints.
Oh.
Yeah.
Big of me
Brett
to put
on
them
the
on
New
there.
Orleans Saints
Big
trivia.
of me to put them on there.
Wow.
Credit to me.
The man of the people.
All right. Anything else from the NFL wrap-up before we hit the KDFL section?
Well, let's do it.
All right. We're going to start in Nightdale, where the Dragons take on the 1-9 Dogtown Dobermans. Robert Woods leads the way for the Dragons at 31 points. Deontay Johnson, mentioned earlier, leads the way for the Dobermans at 23. Clyde Bertolaire has a nice bounce-back game, as well as Derrick Henry's walk-off touchdown. Them two combine for 41, and the Dragons win easy, 250 to 189. Next, we go to Kanawha County, where the Kanawha County Kings host the Marmette Midnight Riders. Keenan Allen continues to dominate the targets. He scores 35. Prime-time elite Kirk Cousins scores 28 for the Kanawha County Kings, and Tyreek Hill gets it done with 27 and puts the Midnight Riders in a laughing score of a game. My gosh, 229 to 143. The Midnight Riders send the Kings to 2-9. Next, we have the Cross Vegas Gamblers going to Roxalana to take on the Renegades. Adam Thielen with 2 touchdowns. He scores 32. Corey Davis is the high scorer with a mere 18 points for the Renegades. KDFL favorite, Corey Davis, I might add. And Dalvin Cook continues his fantasy football dominance with 25. And the Gamblers win big, 261 to 195. The Commission's Gunslingers host the Polka Pharmacists. Cooper Kupp lights it up on Monday night for 27. Ryan Tannehill scores 23 against the Ravens. And Patty Mahomes with 23 for himself puts the Gunslingers over the Pharmacists. This was one of our closer games, 225 to 235. In our pre-main event, we have the Methadones taking on the Hurricane Rompus Cats. Taysom Hill, in his QB debut, scores 24. As we talked about earlier, Herbert continues his Rookie of the Year campaign, scoring 31. And Detroit's new bromance, Derek Carr, scores 24. And the Methadones win big, 257 to 215. But real quick, that score of 257 versus the Gamblers' score of 261 wraps up the eliminator. The Cross Vegas Gamblers have won the 2020 KDFL Eliminator. Shout out to GM Nick Hudson. Finally.
Where are you, Nick?
Finally. Do you want to do this one or do I do it?
We know you're dying to do this. So
Okay,
go ahead.
I will do it. Let me get a whole score. I'm going to go by each. No, I'm just kidding. We have the Elkview River Rats taking on the Montrose Mega Powers. Sean Watson starts us off. Beautiful 33 points. Aaron Rodgers, measly 23. A little embarrassing. Todd Gurley there for moral support. Shows his team leadership. He pours in 3.9. Chase Claypool does catch one deep ball that gets him to 16.5. Gets him to 16 points. Juju, 5.9 for him. Very sad. And then I think what I'll say did in the Elkview River Rats. Lamar Jackson. You hate to see it. 17. Oh, and I forgot this as well. Started off on Thursday. A little omen of things to come. DK Metcalf. 13.6. So like all things that the River Rats touch, it starts off great. Touchdown in the first quarter. By the second quarter, your footballs are hitting you in the face. You're dropping them.
Dropping touchdown passes. Dropping catches. Getting 50-yard bombs called back because of holding.
And what will save my season mentally for me, regardless of what happens, the Montrose Mega Powers beat the Elkview River Rats 260 to 222. That is it.
Well,
for your Week 11 KDFL recap.
Let me just say, in my team's defense.
What's the defense?
We were playing on the road. We were playing what's called the Montrose Mega Powers. We show up to Montrose. They tell us they don't live here anymore. We have to get on a flight, fly all the way down to Florida. Had to do all kinds of pre-COVID checks. I mean, the team was a little rattled, a little tired, but you know what? That's all right.
Do you want me to go through it again? You want to recap last week's show? Because I said Rodgers versus the Colts, that's tough. Peterson on Metcalf, that's tough.
Yeah, but you know what? I think he actually was beating Peterson. He dropped a couple balls, to be honest.
He did. Yeah. And then Belichick with mobile quarterbacks. Gurley did not help anything. Gibson's looking okay, and Marvin Jones didn't help anything either for me. But.
Yeah. No, it was – your team played well. So
you got to rise to the occasion, man.
Yeah. Your season alive.
Well,
for now.
All right.
Hey, while we're on it, while we're talking about how great I am, go ahead and go over the results for the picks.
Yeah, I was going to do that. I'm going to need to hear I need someone to cue the Mr. Perfect music. Because
that was perfect.
Brett Steele went 6-0 last week. And his overall record is now 51-15. He is only one game behind you, Phil. You went 5-1. You were 52-14. Well, I'm 4-2. We don't need to really go over my overall record. 44-22. So,
that's not bad, he says.
So congratulations, Brett. You went perfect. You also got the big win against me. The only thing that would have made it really perfect for you with the Falcons would have beat the Saints. But
no, I even said everything can't happen for me. Something's got to go bad, and it's a drubbing of the Falcons against my most hated team, which is terrible. With a backup QB. All right, Week 12, we have – okay, Phil, how do we want to do this? Whenever I give a game that has a playoff implication, you're going to say what's happening with it?
Yeah, I'll just say, like, for both teams, what their situation is real quick.
All right, and this is our first week. I could be wrong, but this is the first week I've noticed it where all these games are repeats. I know that's how ESPN does the schedule.
Yeah.
I think Week 12 and 13 are your repeat games. So we do have previous games to go off of, and I'll hit on that too. We're going to start off with the Commission's Gunslingers taking on the Dogtown Dobermans. Last time they played, it had to be one of the biggest margins of victory in KDFL history as the Gunslingers won 286 to 150. Sweet goodness. Okay. Detroit, take it away. Or Phil, you take it away. Does this have any playoff implications?
Well, it could. The Dobermans, of course, have already been eliminated. The Gunslingers can clinch a playoff spot with a win, so it could have a playoff implication. If they lose, it gets a little more complicated, but they could clinch a spot with a win.
You're going to roll right into your predictions, Phil.
Oh, you want me to go first?
I think.
Okay.
What do you think?
Would make sense.
It just rolls smoother.
Okay. I mean, there's not much to go over in this game, I don't think. It's going to be closer, actually, than what we may have expected beforehand.
Yeah, it's only a spread of 20.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that close, though. I think it's still going to be a pretty sizable win for the Gunslingers. I'm going with the Gunslingers.
Phil, it's not going to be that close. But I do think it's going to be close.
I think it's going to be like closer than we expected, but I don't think it's going to be close overall.
That's amazing. All right. Well,
I didn't do much research on that game. That's why.
All right. Well, I'll go with mine. I don't have a lot written down for this game because there's not really much to say. I have said before I do like the Dobermans. They've got Josh Allen as their quarterback. It sucks that Burrow got hurt, but he's still got Big Ben, and he's got two pretty good other offensive weapons, and I think that's Miles Sanders and Deontay Johnson. I just think they need to add a couple more playmakers, and I think they'll be, a contender maybe next year. But I think the Gunslingers, the commission, he's just too strong. He's got Mahomes. He is starting Alex Smith this week, so that'll be interesting to see. But I just think they got somebody.
Ryan Finley.
Yeah, I know.
I think that's a go, though. I think it's still going to be Smith, right? It has to be.
But yeah. One other thing, I do think that according to these stats, projections, the Dobermans have an edge in the defense.
They do.
So I'm going to take the Gunslingers, though.
I'm close to doing something stupid here.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Won't be the last.
Yeah.
Julio is not going to be 100% on Sunday. That's my thing. But he's still going to play, I think. So
Okay.
it's going to be in that situation where.
But he's still got Matt Ryan throwing him the ball, though.
Yeah, exactly. That's to his betterment. It's going to be a situation where you can't bench Julio, but he might not. He might play a quarter. Let's see the second. Again, Baltimore, that game. Chargers. This is nail biter to me, honestly. I'm going to go with the Gunslingers, just because Mahomes and Tampa. If Devontae Parker didn't have the Jets, that would also be a huge problem. Yeah. In a very close game. I won't be surprised at all if the Dobermans win this game. But I'm going to go with the Gunslingers.
So all that rambling just to pick the
but it's going to be close.
All right.
I know Phil's dying for a Doberman win with having the Kings first round pick. Now, next up, the Pharmacist taking on the Renegades. Take it away, Phil. I know this probably has to be a must-win game for the Pharmacist.
Yeah. I don't know if they were last week, but the Renegades are officially eliminated. I think they were last week, actually. Maybe not. But yeah, the Pharmacists will be eliminated with a loss or a win by two of the Methadones, Midnight Riders, Mega Powers, or Wampus Cats. So if any two of those teams win, the Pharmacists are officially eliminated, or if they lose.
If the Pharmacists lose, right? Okay.
Yep.
And what's your thoughts on this game?
To be honest, I didn't do much research on this one either because I did it.
You don't have to say it every time.
So I'm just trying to follow through like Detroit does. I didn't do much preparation.
Just say it. Yeah, that's how I am. Who cares?
It makes it look better if you say it up front,
Yeah.
Because then you don't sound like a fool, like when you're just talking about random stuff. I mean, I don't think the Lions are going to have a good game this week. It's Thanksgiving, but they usually suck on Thanksgiving, right? Don't they?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And he's got Kerryon Johnson, the Renegades, starting, but I think Peterson actually got more carries last week, so that could affect his production. And that's kind of all the research I did on that game. So that being said, I'm going to go with the Pharmacist, keeping their season alive, pending other game results, and getting them in here.
All right. Well, I mean, you look at the projections, there's like less than a point.
Yep.
It's weird looking at this and seeing all of Eric's offensive players with the check mark. You don't see that very often, but
Patricia's doing something right.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a couple questionable players on here, like DeAndre Swift, Tua. I don't like the Pharmacist running back situation. You got Lindsey and Edmonds. I'm not a big fan of those two. Cam's going against Arizona. I'm not sure how well that's going to turn out. And Tannehill's going against the Colts' #1 defense. So I'm not a fan of that this week. I think we'll see a lot of Derrick Henry. For some reason, I'm going with the upset. I'm picking the Roxanne Renegades. The Roxanne Lions.
That makes 2 weeks in a row that Detroit has taken the team that's favored and so he's going with the upset. They're favored by a point. Don't give me a look.
Just go.
The matchups are terrible for the pharmacist. That's a long story short of this one. New England has a good run D. Edmonds is the backup. That's terrible. Maybe Henry Ruggs can catch a deep ball. I don't know. I'm going with if the pharmacists get it done, it's going to have to be with defense. I don't see it happening. I love the Lions. Matchup on Thanksgiving with the Texans. So I am going with the Renegade. Yes.
All right.
Riding that Renegade train. That's 2 weeks in a row I've taken them. All right. Next up, the Gamblers and the Kings. This is a matchup of 8-3 versus 2-9. Phil, take it away. I don't know what this could have.
The Kings have officially been eliminated from playoff contention, and the Gamblers have clinched the playoff spot, and they can clinch a bye with a win or a River Rats loss.
Woo-hoo.
So,
Your prediction for this game?
I mean, it's the Gamblers. It's not going to be that close. I think it's going to be closer than 75, the spread, but the Kings just don't have the firepower. I mean, I know Tom Brady has looked pretty bad recently for the Gamblers, but I don't know. He still has enough firepower to the rest of the team to get the win here. Not much to say.
All righty. Well, yeah. Tim still got sorry. Tim still has Ludden in his starting lineup, so I'm assuming he's going to put Drew Lock in there. I don't think that's really going to make a difference. The Kings wide receivers are not very good. It's just not a really good roster, period, which is weird because he was in the championship game last year.
Bizarre.
The Gamblers are just steady. They just win. I like Dalvin Cook this week. Don't like Carson Wentz, but who does? I mean, he is playing Seattle though, so maybe he'll put up some points. And Tom Brady's going to be throwing the ball because I think they're just going to be behind him that entire game. So he should rack up some points. So yeah, I'm going with the Gamblers.
I'm looking at the Kings lineup right now, and it's just a bunch of players. Like you can see players that you thought would be good and just haven't panned out. Honestly, you can look at Mason Rudolph. You can look at Mecole Hardman. You can look at Michael Gallup. I mean, it's just full of this on this roster. Drew Lock. I mean,
I don't know why he doesn't put like Hines in his lineup.
Hines had a good start, bad middle, and he's got Gus Edwards. Gus Edwards would probably find a way in his lineup.
He's got 2 tight ends in his lineup right now. What's he trying to? Is he trying to? Never mind. I ain't gonna say it.
He ain't trying to tank. What's he trying to tank for, Phil? Unless he wants a higher second-round pick.
That could be.
That's next level tankery. Okay, so yeah, it's Gamblers. All right, now we're going to get into the juicy matchups now. There's 3 pretty marquee matchups this week as far as playoff implications. First up, Detroit's River Rats taking on the Hurricane Wampus Cats.
Yeah, the Wampus Cats, it was a little too complicated. I think there's still a lot that can happen, so I don't have much on them right now. They're still in the playoff hunt, obviously, but there's still a lot to be decided. For the River Rats, well, they'll clinch a playoff spot with a win. And if they get a win and Gamblers lose, they still have a chance at the first round bye, depending on what happens next week. All that being said, I think I'm going to go with the River Rats in this one. I think it's going to be close, but because I do like the Wampus Cats, Kyler Murray against the Patriots. That means DeAndre Hopkins is probably going to have a good game as well. Justin Herbert, rookie of the year, probably. He's having a great season. He should keep it up this week against the Bills. But on the other side, I really like Rodgers against the Bears. I think he'll keep up his good season. Nick Chubb has a great matchup against the Jaguars, who are bottom 10 in yards allowed against running backs. So he should run all over them. Chris Carson Is Chris Carson coming back this week?
Yeah, he's practicing. He practiced today.
Okay. I mean, if he plays, that should be a pretty big boost to the River Rats as well. I don't like the matchup for your Steelers wide receivers, Smith-Schuster and Claypool, but I still like them as wide receivers, so I think they'll have a good game regardless. The only question mark I see is Lamar Jackson. I think he's going to have a tough matchup against the Steelers.
I agree.
Brett, I mean, you don't need to yawn. I'm not that boring, am I? I don't know if that was intentional or not. Probably not.
The fifth.
But all that being said, I'm going with the River Rats to get the win here and put a slight dagger in the Wampus Cats' heart.
Right.
Thanks, Phil. Yeah, like you said, I like Rodgers versus the Bears and Chubb against the Jags. I think the Browns will be up a lot in that game, so I think you're going to see them run the ball a ton. Chris Carson's back, so that's going to help me tremendously. And like you said, Lamar going against Pittsburgh, they're only giving up 13 points a game to fantasy quarterbacks, so that's not very good. That's the best in the league, by the way. As for the Wampus Cats, I mean, is Murray? I mean, he's banged up, so kind of hoping that he's not the same as usual. Herbert against the Bills. And the Bills have actually been giving up the fifth most points to quarterbacks. And Brett, stop yawning. Anyways.
All right, at this point, he's done on purpose.
The Wampus Cats is their defense is not the greatest in this fantasy league. So with that, I'm going to take myself.
Yeah. Last time these two teams played, it was a very low-scoring game. Yeah, I made noises. It was a very low-scoring game. 2-12. Wampus Cats beat the River Rats, and they're low-scoring year, I guess, right? 187.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So we'll see if they can come back. Now, I do like that he has the Devontae Adams kind of hedge on
Yes. Yep.
But your quarterbacks are not going to be the reason why you win this week, I don't think. They have two very tough matchups. Carson coming back is huge. If Murray's okay, he's going to have a lot of points. Again, mobile quarterbacks, Bill Belichick. There's just nothing there on the defensive side for the Wampus Cats. So I am going to have to go with the River Rats as well.
All right.
All right. Now, next up, our pre-main event. The Marmette Midnight Riders travel to Montrose or Melbourne. We don't know. To take on the Melbourne Mega. I don't know. I'm gonna work on that. The Montrose Mega Powers, 6-5 versus 6-5. Last time we played, the Mega Powers got the win 217 to 191. Phil, I don't know how you're going to decipher the playoff implications of this game.
Well, for the Midnight Riders, it's kind of similar to the Wampus Cats. A lot can still happen. I mean, there's really nothing that can be decided this week for them. And he doesn't have tiebreakers against quite a bit of the teams that are in the playoffs, so he's kind of on the outside looking in right now. But for your Mega Powers, it's a little complicated, but not too much. You can clinch a playoff spot with a win and a loss by either the Methadones or the Wampus Cats. So it's not too bad, actually.
You sure?
I'm 100% sure.
If it's on the podcast, it is law. I want it to know. No matter what can be deciphered.
No.
It is law.
No.
On the internet. The internet's written in ink, Phil.
Okay.
It's like Facebook. If it's on Facebook, it's got to be real.
Yeah, I mean, if you look into it, because you have the tiebreaker, I think, against all three of those teams behind you. So I'm pretty sure you beat every single one of them. I'd have to double check that again, but I'm pretty sure that's why you're right there in that spot.
Yeah, no, I see where he's getting there.
Let me look at it.
I see how he's getting there. It's fairly simple because the Midnight Riders would drop to 6-6. I would go to 7-5. So yeah, I get it.
Can we just get a prediction?
Yeah. You beat the Methadones, Wampus Cats, and Midnight Riders.
I get it now. Yeah, the other teams would drop. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. I kind of went back and forth a lot on this one. I really like the Midnight Riders matchups pretty much across the board. The only issue is I don't like the running backs at all. I mean, Latavius Murray and Jamal Williams, they're not getting a lot of production, not getting a lot of carries, so that could be a problem. On the other side, you have Deshaun Watson, who's having a good season. He gets the Lions, so he should have a really great game.
What are you trying to say?
Today. You know what I'm saying. I say it every week. I don't like Todd Gurley against the Raiders, though. That could be a tough matchup. No, it's going to be tough.
Let him talk. Don't give him that look.
I literally didn't say a thing.
I like Antonio Gibson against the Cowboys, though. I don't like Dalton against the Red, or almost said it. Shoot, against the WFT, the WTF. Okay. He's going to have a tough matchup against them. I think they're going to be pressuring him a lot unless they get Elliott involved a lot more. I think my final decision, I'm going to go with the Midnight Riders to beat the Mega Powers this week.
Foolishness.
Nice.
Foolishness again.
Yeah, like Phil said, I'm not a big fan of the Midnight Riders running back situation. I don't see them getting a lot of production. Teddy Bridgewater, I assume he's back against Minnesota. I'm not sure how well that'll be. I do like his linebackers. I've said it before. He's got some pretty good linebackers. For Brett, yes, Watson against the Lions. That's a no-brainer. I'm a big fan of Antonio Gibson. If only I would have drafted him. Anyways, Andy Dalton, though, let's see if he can really have 2 good games in a row. I'm not sure about that. So it's going to be close, but for some reason, I think Brett's got the horseshoe up. You know what? And I'm going to go with the Melbourne. I don't know.
We're like the Raiders in Oakland. Like we're holding on the fence. We don't know.
All right, just go. Make your pick.
Looking at this game, we're going to know a lot early. Literally early, as in like under 24 hours from now. Well, no, of course it's on Thursday morning, so we're going to know in about 4 hours. How this is going to start. If the Lions, when we were talking about last night, I don't think I can win it on that first game, but I can lose it. If that game somehow becomes a defensive battle, where it's like a 17-10 game, I think I'm in serious trouble. But I do like the matchup with Cooks and Lions, with Cooks and Watson getting the Lions. I like Gurley in Vegas. I think Gurley will be able to run on Vegas. I think we'll have a bounce back game. Wayne Gallman, look up his weeks. They've been very solid the last few weeks. And I hope Keenan Allen gets Tre'Davious White, and I hope he can do something about this ridiculous targets he's been getting. I love the Bucs pass defense, and I don't trust Bridgewater against Minnesota. And Baker has a great matchup with Jacksonville, but what's Baker's ceiling? It's not, it's nothing too crazy. His linebackers get canceled out by my DBs. That's why I'm going the Montrose Mega Powers to get the W, to go on a 3-game win streak. So my season will be 2 games lost, 4 games won, 2 games lost, 2 games won. And Detroit has just left.
Sorry, I was getting.
He was so shook by the pick that he also made. All right.
Hurry up.
All right. The main event, the game of the week for the first solo time. He'll tell you all about all the times that he has not been. The game of the week, the Matt Smith ran Charleston Methadones travel to Nightdale. Make sure I had it right. Take on Phil's Nightdale 10-1 Dragons. The last time they played, it was a whooping. The Dragons beat the Methadones 290-214. Go ahead, Phil.
Yeah, not much to talk about with me. I mean, I clinched a bye and number 1 overall seed, not much to talk about really. For the Methadones, they can clinch a playoff spot with a win and a loss by the Midnight Riders or the Wampus Cats. So kind of the similar situation with your Mega Powers. Kind of teams are a little different, but same kind of situation. I think this is going to be a lot closer than that first matchup. Kind of nervous that I might lose this one this time around, but I don't know. I don't like the matchups for both teams really. I do like Brian against the Raiders though. I don't like Henry against the Colts. I mean, they have a really tough defense, but it is Derrick Henry. I don't like Aaron Jones versus the Bears either. Clyde Edwards-Helaire had a good game last week, but it seems like it's 1 out of every 5 games that he gets the ball. I like Will Fuller against the Lions. I think they'll put up some points, the Texans. And I think Phillip Rivers is going to have a good game this week against the Titans as well. On the other side, though, for some reason, I don't like the Seahawks against the Eagles. So I think Russell Wilson and Tyler Lockett could struggle a little bit. And I think that might be the difference. That in my defense. I think my defense is actually a little better than his so far this year. And I think it's going to come down to that Seahawks game where I have Jamal Adams playing on Monday night. And I think that might be the difference. whatever Jamal Adams does on Monday. I'm going to get the win this week.
Detroit.
Okay, when I looked at this game, I think it comes down to the running back situation. And for you, Phil, I'm not liking your matchups. You got Jones against the Bears, who have the 8th best defense in the league. You have Edwards against Tampa, who's the number 1 rushing defense. So I don't see a lot of production there. And you got Henry going against the Colts, who are the number 3 rushing defense. So you got some bad matchups there. I'm not a big fan of Matt Ryan this year. Sorry, Brett. When you look at the other side, I think Wilson will have a good week against the Eagles. I think him and Lockett will have a big week. And I just love his running back situation, Kamara, Davis, and Jacobs. So I'm going to take the Methadones.
Little tidbit here to start us off. I spoke with GM Matt Smith of the Charles Methadones earlier, and he has guaranteed, he went Joe Namath on this, he has guaranteed a Methadone victory this week.
Oh, Phil, you can't let him do that to you.
He has guaranteed.
What is he going to say all season about my crappy-ass team, that he's the only good team in the league?
That's true.
I know he's number 1 in points, but I'm number 3, and I've only lost 1 game so far. So.
Looking at these matchups, I agree with Detroit.
What?
Oh, no. All the matchups are terrible, though. So I really don't see either one of your teams getting a massive matchup advantage. If Julio plays, Matt Ryan is going to he's going to be top 5 quarterback this week if Julio plays. But he will be.
I don't know about that.
I promise you.
You're biased for that, probably.
No, I'm not. He's terrible without Julio. He's good with him.
We'll rewind this next week. We'll come back to it.
I don't like Hilaire against the Bucs, like Phil said. The Falcons have a terrible pass defense, but they do not have a terrible run defense, so Jacobs might have a little bit of a struggle. But on that flip side, Derek Carr could have a good week. So those two, the fact that these two are playing each other is really interesting because I think they both could have pretty outstanding weeks. The defenses are almost a wash. Going with the Hungry Dogs, run faster. Going with the Methadones, they have something to play for. Phil's team is already locked in the first seed. They're going to be letting their foot off the gas.
The one time you guys agree is when you're picking me to lose.
I'm going with the Methadones.
I want you to win. I want you to be.
Trust me. I want you to win as well based on what we talked about there. So, all right. That's it for the Week 12 predictions. Detroit, go ahead and do your little lock of the week and give us our records and your goodbye, all that good stuff.
All right, so last week we
breaking news real quick. I'm sorry, it just came across. I don't know if this was already known, but Kenny Galladay and Danny Amendola both out Thursday.
Ooh. All righty. Well, that's not going to matter anymore.
Shout out Mr. Fields for breaking that news right across my computer screen.
Last week, me and Phil both won our lock of the weeks. Phil, you had Cleveland -3.5. I had Carolina -1.5 against the Lions.
And just keep going.
No doubt. And Brett.
Just keep going. Irrelevant.
He had Miami -3.5.
I killed two.
So me and Phil are 6-5. I think every week I've won, lost, won, lost.
Yep.
That's how my predictions have been going. Brett, yours has pretty much been losses every week. You are 3-8 in your locks of the week. As for this week, I am going to – hold on. I'm sorry. I lost my page here. I'm actually – ooh, this is tough.
Yeah, there's some tough ones this week.
I'm gonna stick against the Lions. I'm gonna take Houston -3.
All right, that was mine. Okay. Anything else?
I can pick something else if you want.
Anything else? Nothing else to say?
Yeah, Brett. Even though you were perfect, you still suck.
Phil, tell the people how to get a hold of us and give us your lock of the week.
All right. I'm going to go with what you were saying last week about Belichick having trouble against running quarterbacks. And I'm going to go with the Cardinals -2.5 in New England as my lock of the week. And as always, you can follow the show on Twitter at KDFL Podcast. They can follow you, Brett, at BrettStill2. They can follow Detroit at Detroit8374. And they can follow me at Phil Ruxy. And you can always call or text the show at 901-609-KDFL.
All right, and I'm going to team up with that first game to get my loss out of the way early this week. I'm going to take the over, though, over 50.5 with the Texans and Lions. So, for Jonathan Detroit Haynes, for Mr. Bill Rexy, I'm Brett Steele. Happy Thanksgiving, and we will see you next week here on the KDFL Fantasy Football Podcast.
Gobble, gobble, gobble.
Bye-bye.